It's the first of the month. You finally sit down to build a budget the right way. You've heard about it everywhere. The 50-30-20 rule. 50% for needs, 30% for wants, 20% for savings. Clean, simple. Feels official, like something a financial advisor would nod at. So you open a spreadsheet, plug in your numbers, and it doesn't work. Your rent alone eats most of your needs category. Your wants percentage barely covers a single dinner out. And the 20% for savings? That number looks more like a joke than a goal. And you're left sitting there wondering, is something wrong with me, or is something wrong with this rule? Spoiler, it's not you. My name is Jack, and today we're going to talk about why the 50-30-20 rule quietly fails most people, and what to actually do instead. If you've ever felt like a budgeting rule was designed for someone else's life, make sure to hit subscribe, because this one's going to feel familiar. Let's start with the uncomfortable truth. The 50-30-20 rule was never built around your actual expenses. It was built around a tidy ratio. And ratios don't care about your rent. Here's what I mean. Let's say you earn $4,000 a month. Following the rule, your needs budget is $2,000. Sounds reasonable on paper. But let's check reality. Rent, $1,500. Utilities, $150. Car payment, $250. Insurance, $150. Groceries, $300. Add that up and you're already at $2,350. You blew past your needs category before you even touched a want. And this is where the rule quietly breaks. Because it assumes your fixed costs will politely sit inside a percentage. They don't. They sit wherever rent and utility companies decide they sit. Now flip the example. Imagine someone earning $10,000 a month. Their wants category, following the rule, is $3,000. That's not a treat. That's a second rent payment going toward dinners and impulse purchases. The rule wasn't built to slow that down. It practically encourages it, because 30% feels official, even when it's wildly more than someone actually needs to feel satisfied. So here's what's really going on. The rule isn't wrong because the math is bad. It's wrong because it assumes everyone's fixed costs scale neatly with their income. They don't. Rent isn't 50% cheaper because you earn less. And lifestyle creep doesn't politely cap itself at 30% just because a chart says so. Here's what most people don't realize. The real issue with percentage-based budgeting is psychological, not mathematical. When the numbers don't match your life, you don't adjust the rule, you abandon the whole idea of budgeting. You think, I guess budgeting just isn't for me, when really the framework was never built for your situation in the first place. So let's fix this. Here's a system that works with your actual numbers instead of an arbitrary ratio. I call it the priority stack method. Step 1. Calculate your real fixed costs in dollars, not percentages. Rent, utilities, insurance, minimum debt payments, groceries. Add them up. This is your true floor. Step 2. Pay yourself first before a single dollar touches spending. The moment your paycheck lands, a fixed amount moves automatically into savings or investing. Not whatever's left over at the end of the month, because there's rarely anything left over at the end of the month. Step 3. Whatever remains becomes your flexible spending number, not a percentage. A real dollar amount you can actually see. If your fixed costs are $2,350 and you pay yourself $400 first, and your income is $4,000, you're left with $1,250 to spend freely. Step 4. Increase your pay yourself first number as your income grows, not your spending. Most people give raises straight to their lifestyle. Instead, every time your income increases, increase your savings transfer before you increase anything else. Step 5. Review the whole system once a quarter. Not every single category, every single week. Let's see what this actually looks like over a year. Imagine two people, both earning $4,000 a month. Person A tries to force the 50-30-20 rule onto their real expenses. Every month, the numbers don't quite line up, so they shuffle money between categories, feel behind, and eventually just stop tracking anything by month 4. Person B uses the priority stack method. By the end of the year, person A has saved inconsistently. Person B has $4,800 sitting in savings without ever once feeling like they were budgeting. That gap isn't about discipline. It's about whether the system matches reality in the first place. Think of it like building a house. The 50-30-20 rule hands you a blueprint built for a completely different house, then tells you to make your furniture fit. The priority stack method measures your actual rooms first, then decides what goes where. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Jack, but doesn't this require more effort up front? A little, yes. But you do that work once and the system runs almost automatically every month after that. Compare that to constantly forcing your real expenses into a percentage that was never built for them. Once your savings happen automatically before spending even gets a chance, your wants money stops feeling stressful. The bills are covered, the future is funded. What's left is genuinely yours to enjoy. If this video helped you rethink how you budget, hit the subscribe button. And here's a question for you. When you actually run your real numbers, does 50% even come close to covering your needs? Or does reality look completely different? Let me know in the comments, because the moment you build a budget around your real life instead of someone else's formula, that's when money finally starts making sense.